welcome to the program. Joining us now is Casey Marquette. He is a cybersecurity specialist and the founder of Covenant Technologies, an IT staffing firm based in Florida. Casey, welcome to Washington.
Thank you, Mark. Great to be here.
So great to have you here, and also announcing on our program something that you've been working on for a really long time. You've rolled out really one of the biggest innovations to come to staffing, and you're using AI to do it. Tell us what you've announced.
Yes, Mark, we are so excited. We have created Scout. So Scout is basically an avatar, our best employee, best recruiter we have. And let me tell you why that's important. So right now, when we post a job, we have, say, 500 people apply. So if you're a candidate out there, a human recruiter looks at maybe 40 of those 500. Guess what? The rest of the 400, they don't hear back. They don't hear anything. They're ghosted. In our industry, that's one of the biggest problems candidates cannot stand. What's great about Scout, Scout is trained in IT and cybersecurity, and I would argue he knows more about those IT and cybersecurity than any recruiter in the world. So what Scout's going to do is look at the 500 candidates, compare it to what the client is looking for, and then decide, okay, these 50 I'm going to interview. Scout is then going to interview 50, pressure test them on technical skills. And that's another area where we fail miserably in staffing. A recruiter can't possibly understand every domain of cybersecurity and IT. So Scout is going to pressure test them technically and then send a refined list, let's say 5, to the hiring manager, to the recruiter. And then the recruiter, we're still going to have the human touch. Then the recruiter is going to talk to the candidate, vet them out for culture fit, those type of things, and then if they fit, present them to the client.
So let me ask you how this works in real life, because there are so many people who feel they apply for a job, there's some computer algorithm that they never get by, and they're weeded out before they even hear from a human being. How is this different? Because you are tailoring it specifically to the qualifications?
Correct, specifically to that client's qualifications. And we don't take a job unless we actually talk to the hiring manager themselves. So not only is this vetting against the job description, and trust me, many leaders use job descriptions that are 20 years old. We ask the hiring leader, what are your 5 must-haves? What's most important to you? And a lot of times that's technical. And so Scout is going to be used to really vet the technical piece, resulting in better quality candidates to the clients, but also getting through more candidates, cycle time. So guess what? Scout can interview you Saturday morning at 2 a.m. if that's when you're available. So speed, right? Getting candidates to the hiring manager quicker, but also better quality.
So no offense, Casey, but there are a ton of other staffing firms out there. Why is this tool so unique?
As far as I know, it doesn't exist. There's text-based, which doesn't really feel great when you're being interviewed by text. But this is the first avatar, real-life type person that's going to interview you. So as far as I know, again, it's not out there. And other staffing agencies, trust me, because we struggle as well. They are struggling on the technical aspect. I frequently say, would you want your general practitioner doing your heart surgery? Well, no. That's why staffing companies fail. Because you're expecting a recruiter to recruit for sales, construction, IT. They can't possibly understand all of those areas and vet talent.
I was going to say, I keep hearing there's a shortage of cybersecurity people for those jobs. But that's not what you think.
I don't buy that at all.
Why?
And you read it over and over, and I just feel like it's parroted because somebody says it. What I can tell you from our experience, we have never not been able to find a candidate for a client. Ever. They're out there. But if you don't know what you're looking for, yes, you would think there's a shortage because you have no idea on qualifications. You have no idea how to vet them.
So you're essentially saying you've used AI to solve the vetting problem.
Correct. And ensure the client is receiving quality, which what it does, Mark, is, one of the key metrics we measure is the number of candidates we submit to a client and then how many of those people until they hire that candidate. We're looking to reduce that. So in other words, you're paying us to find you talent. If you have to interview 100 people, we're not hitting the mark.
Right.
So we're gonna compress that.
Fascinating. And I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about something in the news because you're a cybersecurity expert. You know, I noticed recently there were some text messages going out to some of our audience saying, vote here, register to vote now, and all of this. But it turns out to be a phishing scam, that people are sending out texts saying, hey, you might not be registered to vote. Click this link to make sure. Do you think this is coming from some Russian, Chinese, Iranian threat? Is this domestic? How am I supposed to figure out what is legitimate and what's not?
So where it's coming from, I don't want to speculate, right? But what I will tell you, the bad news is it's only going to get worse. So we're getting closer as we get closer to the election. But also, and it's actually when it's text, they call it smishing. But irregardless, smishing or phishing via text, 45% are opened as opposed to 6% in email. So therefore, it's only going to increase, not just the election, anything.
You're saying people are duped far more often via text than email.
Yes. So guess what? You're a bad guy. You're going to do more of what works. So you're going to see more and more, again, whether that's the election or not, you're going to see more and more of these type attacks. So my advice, if there's one thing for the audience that you should take from this, do not click on anything you receive unsolicited.
So if you send me a link, don't click on it.
Well, you know me, but if you get an unsolicited, and what they're doing, what we've seen, I actually got one this week. Everybody's passionate about their candidate.
Yeah.
So they're asking, can you donate? And so people are falling for it, and that's why you're going to see more of it.
So I've only got about a minute and a half left. I want to ask you about something that people don't really know about you, that I was really struck by. Every year, you take 8 weeks and you travel 8,000 miles on like the greatest networking trip I've ever heard of. Tell the audience what you do and why you do it.
Yeah, so first and foremost, since COVID, meeting people in person is almost innovative. So in our business, I talked about Scout, but there's still got to be a human connection. You work in corporate America, it's important. How do you present yourself? So I literally travel from city to city, 8,000 miles, breakfast, lunch, dinner, meeting talent. I also meet employees. Second, I get to see this beautiful country. I've been all over, Yellowstone, Glacier Park, beautiful. But most importantly, what I love about it, last time we had a CyberFit challenge. I'm passionate about fitness, and we gave Apple Watches away. So we got on LinkedIn and said, hey, I'm going to be at this gym. Come, I'll give you a watch. I know we don't have much time, but let me tell you one story that really struck me. So I'm driving. I'm in Louisiana. It's Easter, and I go to a Waffle House, and it's just me. And I'm sitting there having breakfast. This waitress, lovely waitress, is delivers my food. And I thought, wow, she's working on Easter. So the bill was, let's say, $15. I tipped her like $250. Wow. I'm not saying that for that wow, but she came out teary-eyed and said, I'm going to be able to pay my electric bill. So we have a nonprofit called Covenant Cares, and I have two favorite quotes, and I tell the team this all the time. The more we make, the more we're going to give away. And something I heard at Tony Robbins that I absolutely love, for people that think money doesn't matter, they haven't given enough away.
For people who think money doesn't matter, they haven't given enough away. Correct. What a motto to live by. Casey Marquette, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll be right back.